so that I may be a clear and open channel for the Reiki energy to flow through me for the greatest and highest good. And then I just let the intuition just kind of guide where I hit the drum on the face of the drum and where I position the drum on the client's body.
Because it seemed to me, I mean, you know, Michael's a youngster, but you really changed the beat around his upper shoulders.
Right, right.
And I'm sure that you and I, either one may not know exactly why, but there was a significant change there. So perhaps it's something that he's carrying in his body from grade school.
Right.
Or something.
Stress. I don't know how many times we can hit this subject of stress. I did my Reiki training at the Ohio Academy, and as part of the clinical Reiki program, one of the classes I had to take was holistic psychology. And the instructor there, Carmine Anastasio, he made a point of telling everybody that, making sure everyone knew that most mammals live to an average lifespan of about 10 times their age of sexual maturity. And if you think about it, that's kind of right. You know, a dog, or domesticated animals are a little bit different, but basically a dog, you know, sexual maturity about a year, and they average a lifespan of about 10 years. But that would mean that humans should live to, you know, 140, 150
That's
years,
what
or something like that.
Thinking.
And the only difference is stress. You know, humans take on stress, and other animals do sometimes, but it's a transitory stress. And what we're talking about in humans is not the big stresses like buying a car, getting married, getting divorced, buying a house. Those are a death in the family. Those kinds of stresses are transitory stresses. What we're talking about is the everyday stresses that are always there, that keep the body from relaxing.
You mean this right here? That's what that is?
Right. Because what stress does, it puts the body in a fight or flight mode. And if there's a little bit of stress there, then the body's always in that fight or flight mode. And what happens then, of course, is that the blood pressure goes up, the blood is contracted into the core of the body, and we're in a mode where we can take off running fast, or the adrenaline gets pumping, and stress causes all that. And if we don't ever relax, then the body will always be in that mode, and that's what causes many of our health issues.
I've always heard that, you know, people who live that way, which so many of us do, and they call it fried adrenals, that you've just overworked your adrenal glands until your body just can't go anymore. So I agree with you. Stress is the very foundation of most every disease and pain that we have. So what we're talking about then is, first of all, getting centered.
Right.
And then trying to find some peace inside and release some of that, like I'm talking about right here. And then to follow that up with a Reiki drumming.
A Reiki session, a Reiki drumming, even better.
It would help to boost that immune system.
Right. Now, you asked if Reiki is like massage. It isn't. However, certainly when you drum somebody, the energy, because of the intensity of the energy, it can feel almost like a form of massage as the energy passes through your body.
That's what it felt like to me while you were working on. In fact, it just made me really peaceful. So you studied at the Ohio Academy of Holistic Health, and you talked about in Sedona, the guy who founded. Is there a certification for this?
There is. There's two certifications. There's the certification to become a Reiki drumming practitioner, and then there's the certification to become a Reiki drumming instructor. They have both an independent instructor and then a center certified instructor. Having said that, Michael Baird, and he's a dear friend. I really love him, but he has many aspirations and he doesn't have time to do all these things. I'm actually helping him kind of validate his Reiki drumming instructor program. So I teach Reiki drumming at the Ohio Academy, and I teach it under, I guess, under the guidance or using his materials. I was trying to think of the exact word that I used on the certificate, but basically it's, I issue the certificates under, with permission of Michael and and his Infinite Light Healing Studies Center.
Mm-hmm. So you have to be a Reiki 2 then.
Reiki level 2.
To become a Reiki drumming.
They take the Reiki drumming class.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there more than one drumming, 1 and 2?
No, it's just one class, and 2 days, and I usually teach it on a weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Do you ever do this in a group?
Drumming?
Yeah.
Or Reiki drumming? Or drumming, yes. In fact, group drumming itself is incredibly healing. There was a study done at the Meadville Medical Institute in Pennsylvania that showed that one group drumming session alone increases the body's ability to produce cancer-killing cells. Just one group drumming session, getting together with your friends and just banging on the drum for an hour, that alone will increase your body's ability to produce cancer-killing cells.
You know, the Native Americans had it all along, didn't they? And they didn't have the diseases that we have. And, you know, what we're talking about drumming is communication. They used it as communication. They used it as connection. They used it socially. And in every way that we're talking about. We just kind of lag behind. But to drum in a group, it would seem to me to, what is that? You're an engineer. What is that where you say twice? What am I trying to say? One is, you know what?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Come on, Keith, help me out. That 2 is not more than 1. That 2 is triple.
Right.
You know what I'm saying now? You still don't know.
No.
Well, if you got 1 and you add another, the synergy is greater than the total of the 2.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
I knew I could do it. So the more you have drumming, then the more powerful.
It's greater than the sum of the parts.
There we go. See, I knew you could do it.
Right.
So the more you've got, the better off you are.
Right. I know when I first started going to drum circles, when I would get home those evenings, I would just have incredible dreams, just because my energy had been raised during the drum circle, and you just feel better, and you get home at night, and your dreams are just more vivid and just more wonderful.
You're not carrying all that garbage that you went in with. You released all that. Very cool. So somebody could get in touch with you then through the Ohio Academy?
Yes, they can.
Ohio Academy of Holistic Health in Xenia.
Right, or I have a website and an email, and it's on the closing credits.
Okay, well that's good. So I want to go back to psychoneuroimmunology. I think that's a great word, and it's a new one. Well, you know, fairly new.
Psychoneuroimmunology.
Yeah,
okay.
well, you know, as a medical doctor who came up with it, because he had this revelation that there is some connection between the mind and the body, and the experience of the mind and the body.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what this drumming is so powerful a connection with the mind and the body. I don't know, but I believe you rest your mind, you rest your body. It's really hard to rest your mind.
And the key to resting your mind, or the key to the beginning to resting your mind, is being mindful of what you do. Mindful. Being aware of what you're doing. Being aware of what you think, being aware of what you say, being aware of what you do.
Rather than thinking about something else while you're doing something.
Right, rather than just doing things on autopilot without thinking about it. Even in everything you do, even when you eat, be aware of what you're doing. Be aware of the fact that you're putting food on your fork and you're putting that food in your mouth. Being aware of your chewing even. When you do things like that, you do things more focused and with more intention. And you have much better results, because you will manifest what your intentions are. Where your attention goes, your energy goes.
Oh, yeah. So if you're, well, you know, Americans, and I was in a class a meditation class, and we were talking about how many Americans eat their supper at the computer or even standing at the sink with a cup. And if your mind is going that fast, what you're talking about makes sense. To focus on your eating, it would help your entire digestive.
Right, because you will get more nutrition out of the food.
Rather.
And in fact, that's one of the reasons why Americans eat more than they really need, because they're eating out of habit, because they're not being mindful about what they're doing. Once you start doing that, then you'll realize that you eat less, and you'll get more nutrition, and you will get more benefit out of the food that you do eat.
So it all fits together, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It definitely fits together. Well, I love the drumming part, and I'm thinking that a jam session would be really fun sometime in the near future.
Well, we have drum circles at the Ohio Academy on the second Thursday of every month.
Okay.
I lead the drum circles. We have a few extra drums, so if you don't have one, just come on out. I usually bring 3 or 4 or 5 extra drums.
Are they drums like this, or do you
some of them are like this. Some of them are African djembes, or a Middle Eastern doumbek. The doumbek is
or bongos,
or bongos, or even just a shaker. Anything that makes sound
creates an energy
right.
move. So the second Thursday of every month?
Second Thursday of every month.
At what time?
7 o'clock, from 7 to 8:30.
And you just show up?
Just show up.
Good. Do some real healing work. You know, I was going to tell you about my friend has a depleted immune system, which I had never heard of. So she's taking these IVs, which replenishes her immune system. But we started doing Reiki on her. And of course, we don't do the drumming, we just do some Reiki on her. And it's incredible how more positive her tests come back. So if we did some drumming on her as well, then they'd be shocked at that, wouldn't it?
Could very well.
Because we have a Reiki share that we do every now and then. So maybe you could come do a Reiki share with us.
Certainly.
If you want to leave our guests with one thought, what would that be? Too many thoughts?
Too many thoughts. No, just that drumming is a phenomenal experience. Like I said, for thousands and thousands of years, people have drummed, and it's a great way to connect with your inner beat, with your true, authentic self at an energetic level.
And heal from that,
right.
Heal that way.
And check the school website. I know there's a Reiki drumming class coming up on December 2nd and 3rd, and there's classes in January, April, and May. So check the school website for those classes.
Plan ahead then. How long does the class last? Is it a weekend? Or?
It's a weekend. It runs roughly 9:30 to 5, Saturday and Sunday. So it's 2 days. It really depends on how many people in the class. Because of what we do and the amount of time we have, the classes are really limited to 4 people. So if you're interested in it, you need to call the school and get signed up.
Okay, that's cool. So just go to the Ohio Academy website.
Right, to check out the dates and then call the school.
I'm Tere Banks, and thank you for joining Keith Longstreth and me as we talked about Reiki drumming and the power of it. So, see you next time. Stay healthy, stay happy, be well. Would you drum my back?
Sure.